Yes, because I think as a person, I am someone who's very comfortable in
Mm-hmm.
operating under high pressure situations because that brings the best out of me.
Uh, yeah, I can tell.
Hours per day.
Okay.
And in the last month, I knew that my exam is in towards the end of the October. Now there's only a month remaining. So I had a timer on my head. So that's when I went all in that, okay, whatever the time is there in the day that I can
Mm-hmm.
utilize as a person, I'll just do that. And that was like 12 hours, 13 hours. I think I probably stopped counting how much
Mm-hmm.
time I was spending on GMAT.
Yeah.
It was just like eat, sleep, and rest of the days for GMAT. So that was what I was doing.
Yeah, I
Yes.
understand that.
The best thing you can do while you're preparing for GMAT is analyzing your mistakes. And I think a lot of people start doing that, but what you guys miss out on, I feel, because this is something that I also realized later in the later stages of my prep, is that you don't analyze the questions you have done correctly as well, because there are many questions which you have done correctly, but you haven't given a lot of thought to them. Maybe they were correct just by fluke or by a logic that wasn't completely there. So if you
Mm-hmm.
spend time analyzing on that, I think that also improved my score a lot. Because
Thank you for your time. And first of all, I'll just tell you right off the bat, it's an amazing score. So congratulations on a phenomenal score. I mean, you have a mind-boggling GMAT 755. It's obviously 100 percentile, but the score itself is almost like an unheard of. So congratulations on that. You have 95 percentile in the quant. You have a 94 percentile in the verbal. And till here, it was almost like an excellent report. And then you had a 100 percentile on the data insights, which is literally, it's very, very rare. Like you, I mean, I can tell you that it's very, very rare. So congratulations on that. Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah. And when was the exam
Yes, I
conducted?
would also take the opportunity.
Yeah,
I
sure,
would
sure.
also take the opportunity to thank the top team as well. I think that you guys helped a lot with your material, especially in DI for this, because I think there were a lot of quizzes and mock tests available on your portal that
Hmm.
that gave me the practice and I'll say the muscle memory to do things and solve questions on time. So that was a big help.
Great, great. We are glad actually. Yeah. So when was this exam conducted?
So this was back in October.
Okay.
On I think October towards the end of October only.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was when I gave the.
Hmm. So honestly, were you expecting this kind of a score, or you were a tad bit surprised regarding the score?
Right. So I was definitely expecting a higher score.
Mhm.
Definitely,
Okay.
755 was like a dream score for me. What I was
Uh-huh.
expecting was something around the range of 725 because that's what I got on my last mock. So I was
Okay.
thinking that, even if my performance goes bad, a 715 would be good. 735
Mhm.
would be great.
Yeah.
755 was like a dream score, definitely.
Of course. So you can right now just give a quick introduction about you and like what have you been doing and what led you to go for the MBA and start this GMAT journey, and also how you came to know about top 1%. So yeah, we can go with that.
Sure, sure. I can do that. So yes, hi everyone. I'm Shiv Baruka. Currently, I just graduated from IIT Bombay, majoring in electrical engineering. I started my business or my MBA journey in my second year when I start taking up various positions of responsibility in my institute. That's where I
Mhm.
got to meet some great seniors, and I also realized that I have a passion for taking up leadership roles and shaping organizations. And that's when I decided to uh, pursue an MBA after maybe some years of work ex. And with my seniors' advice, what I realized was that giving GMAT when you are in your undergraduate or in fact
Mhm.
or when you are in your academic journey, and that's a great option because you're still in that zone where you can practice a lot and you can study still. So that is why I decided that I'll give GMAT while I am in college, and
Mhm.
that's when I started my GMAT journey. Now when I started my GMAT journey, initially there were a lot of resources that were available online.
Mhm.
So there were some YouTube videos that were available. There are the original books, of course, that are there.
Mhm.
So I started with that, but I soon realized that this is not a proper organized way to do it. And if me as a person, I was targeting the top business schools that are there.
Mhm.
So that is why I knew that I have to get a very high score for that to happen. And that is why I thought that if I want to do this, especially in a constrained time frame, so I need a organized learning. So I just went ahead and asked my seniors that what is the best that is available. So I was
Mhm.
personally facing challenges with verbal at that time, and my
Mhm.
seniors directly recommended that top 1% is something that is the best you can get for verbal, and I directly went ahead with that. So when I gave the I think I when I gave the demo, I realized that there's a proper algorithm. I'm referring to the octave methodology here that is followed here in verbal, and that resonated with me as an engineer because I'm used to the environments of solving things methodologically, basis on some algorithms, or in general having a very structured way of doing things, and I really like that, and that's how I got into top 1%. And yes, after a few months of my preparation, I think I took 2 or 3 months, and then got my score.
Great, great. 2 to 3 months. That's a fairly short time, to be honest. Yeah. Great, great. So yeah, so initially when you were starting in your prep, what was the weaker part for you? Was it only the verbal thing, or was it slightly a weaker thing for the quant and DI bit? Let's leave DI bit for later.
The verbal
Mhm.
was a very big issue. Verbal was
Okay.
definitely a big issue for me because I had never given an exam in verbal in such a setting, and that's why I think that was my biggest issue.
Okay. So verbal specifically RC or C or both things.
I think both. I was completely at a loss of knowledge or
Hmm.
aptitude for solving such exams. So
Okay,
the
okay.
entire section of verbal was a mystery for to me.
Okay, okay. So when you're talking about octave theory, octave methodology. So initially, were you facing any kind of friction, natural friction that people feel of how to approach the passages with that kind of methodology, which is not the most natural way people are used to, and how you were, I mean, how much number of passages you were able to use to overcome that particular phase, just to get an idea.
Yes, sure, definitely. So there was definitely some friction in trying to apply a methodology which is not which is like a method. You have to follow certain steps to arrive
Mhm.
at an answer. But
Yeah.
again, as I mentioned, that this is something that I like as an engineer. So I was
Mhm.
attracted to it, and I was determined that okay, this is something that I should be doing and I would
Mhm.
like doing. So I practiced a lot of passages initially. The foundational material that was there, I covered all of it, and I also practiced all the questions that were given in the assignments. And I got decently comfortable with that, but I was still not convinced because I'm someone who likes to have things in muscle memory. I don't want to
Mhm.
have additional pressure while utilizing anything. So I think I went out of the way and I practiced a lot of other questions as well. I think
Mhm.
probably from the original GMAT book that there is.
Mhm.
And that's how I got used to the method. And then it was flawless. It was just something that is happening in background
Yeah.
in my mind. I'm solving questions.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. And with CR, was it a bit of a just issue, just keeping on practicing and improving your accuracy, and at a certain point of time, your accuracy just starts improving automatically. Was that the case with CR, or it was a longer process for CR also?
No, it wasn't a very long process for CR. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just the basic framework that was given to me
Mm-hmm.
was like there was some pre-lecture materials that
Yeah.
have to be done. Then there was a lecture and there was a post-lecture assignment itself. So that was I was following it diligently and whatever was being said. And I think that covered most of my CR. The only issue I faced in CR was an assumption, the
Okay.
assumption related question. And I think that took a lot of time to solve for me personally. It didn't come to me as naturally as the other sections did.
Mm-hmm.
I then rewatched the lectures that were there, and I know that that's not a methodology that sir explains, but I solved the questions again that were given.
Okay.
Usually, it's encouraged that you solve newer questions, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I just intuitively felt that I'll maybe if I solve the questions again, I'll be able to get a better hold of this. And that's how I removed my fear or let's say my uncomfortableness with assumption related questions.
Yeah, I think sometimes those questions that have been picked for the especially for the base bridge course, those questions are pretty good to bring you into that mindset of how you need to think. So
Yes,
yeah, I think that can be really helpful. Yeah. So and coming on to the DI, I'm guessing you, since it was like a 3 month thing, so you definitely must have started DI after a month at least.
definitely. Yes.
Yeah. So
I started TI after my entire quant and verbal
mm-hmm.
assignment and bridge course part. Actually, bridge as well as the life course part was over,
Mm-hmm.
and then the DI thing is introduced, right? So that was when I started DI properly. And yes, initially again DI as well. It's a quite a new section, so it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like that. I wasn't able to solve questions as such, but the I think there was a massive time constraint that I was facing while
Okay.
giving sets.
Yeah.
And that I realized quickly that this is something that you have to be quick on your feet and you have to solve questions in a accurately as well as in a very speedy manner. And I think that was the number one issue that I was facing,
Mm-hmm.
that accuracy is there, but speed is not there. So
Yeah.
that was what I was working on for DI.
Okay. Okay. So initially, can you just explain to the what material did you cover for all the entire day? I think did you cover the entire thing, or there was still some stuff remaining?
I covered the entire thing that was there in the bridge course as well as in the life
Mhm.
course. And after that, we get access to a portal where there are a lot of DI sets available, right?
Mhm.
And that is how I improved my DI. I think there were 12 sets that were there for the assignment. Then there were
Mhm.
12 additional sets.
Mhm.
So that would be like approximately 24 sets. I might be wrong with the numbers here, but yes. So after thoroughly completing all those sets, then only I realized that my speed is improving, and it has actually improved a lot with time. So
Mhm.
if you look at my first set, I think I was probably getting like 3 to 4 questions right because I was trying to complete all the questions on time. But by the 12th set, I
Mhm.
think I was maybe my most of my questions would be correct, like around 11 questions or 10 questions would be correct on average out
Okay.
of 12.
Okay. Okay.
That was what was that. This is IR, so this is not
Mhm.
covering the data sufficiency.
Yeah.
That's why there are 12.
Yes, yes. Yes. So in these, so when you were approaching those tests, was it like a two test per day thing, or it's like a long sitting that you were doing on a marathon basis?
It wasn't a two test per day actually, to be honest, because the way I operate as a person is that I like to get in a focus bubble of my own. Uh, so when I started my DI prep, so I'm then in that, okay, now I need to fix my speed in DI.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I understand that that is not feasible for a working professional, but since I was a student, I had a couple of weeks off, so I completed the entire thing in 2 weeks or something.
Okay.
Because that's something that I am comfortable with. Once I wasn't being accurate or I wasn't analyzing my mistakes, but I was able to do 4 sets.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I was doing all those sets consecutively because I want to be in that
Mm-hmm.
sort of zone where I'm improving my DI and I'm working till I get a proper result. So that is why I
Mm-hmm.
was doing like 4 to 5 sets a day. I was studying approximately 10 to 12 hours a day.
Okay.
And that is why I was able to do it because
Mm-hmm.
I had a few weeks off of my academic course load.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I improved my DI. I was continuously into that zone of continuously giving the sets, doing practice, and then also analyzing extensively what is going wrong and what is happening.
Got it. Got it. So okay, understood. So it's like if you're doing a lot of marathon in a consecutive, in a long sitting continuously, I think you start seeing a lot of patterns in terms of the questions, and you start seeing a bit of a familiarity with different questions. So the overall time that you're taking for solving a particular question actually reduces, and that helps in solving this entire thing in a shorter period of time. I think that's really helped you. Yeah.
Exactly. That's how it works for me. I usually don't get exhausted even during long sittings because I find this kind of stuff interesting, solving questions and solving
Mhm.
problems.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the attitude. Correct. Yeah. Uh, so,
Yes,
so in you were, I mean, you were saying that you were putting close to 12 hours, and previously, how much amount of hours that you were putting? I think this 12 hours that you're saying, it was be towards the end that you're saying that you had a holiday.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
but previously, just to just give you a general idea about the entire 3 months, how much number of hours you were putting on a weekday basis and the weekend and the weekends?
Right. So initially when I started, it was probably like 2, 3 hours a day where
Mm-hmm.
I was just getting to know about the exam and getting to know how the verbal section is, how quant is, and all of also gradually increase my capacity to solve questions because initially when I was solving RC, I was getting exhausted by the new kind of setting that was there for solving questions. I wasn't used to reading such long passages and then analyzing those passages in
Mm-hmm.
a short time frame. Then I think let's say after a month, I increase my output to 6 hours per day. I think yes, that would be 6 to 8 hours per day. And
Okay.
in the last month, I knew that my exam is in towards the end of the October. Now there's only a month remaining, so I had a timer on my head. So that's when I went all in that okay, whatever the time is there in the day that I can
Mm-hmm.
utilize as a person, I'll just do that. And that was like 12 hours, 13 hours. I think I probably stopped counting how much
Mm-hmm.
time I was spending on GMAT.
Yeah.
It was just like eat, sleep, and rest of the days for GMAT. So that was I was doing.
Yeah, I
Yes.
understand that.
Weekends and weekdays and weekends were really the same for me since I wasn't a working professional, and the course load here at IIT Bombay for us is quite flexible and it's not
Mhm.
extremely heavy as well towards the end of third year. So that wasn't an issue for me as such.
Okay, okay, got it.
They were the same for me, weekdays and weekends.
Okay. And since you were doing this entire prep, were you also using any kind of strategy sessions or email support? Did you use that effectively or you didn't require it?
I didn't use the strategy sessions or email support a lot. There were
Mhm.
a few questions that I asked help from, and I think the support was very, I would say, quite fast, because I think I received a reply within a day or just the next day, and I think
Mhm.
that was great. So I utilized it once or twice, but I honestly, there was a lot of material that was given, and
Yeah,
every question had an extensive solution attached to it. So I think that was it was a case where I never required support because everything
exactly.
is so extensive.
Yeah, and I think just looking at the solution instantly will be much more effective in terms of
Yes, yes, of
yeah,
course.
yeah, got it. And can you also do you also remember how many number of mocks you gave before you actually attempt?
Okay. Number of mocks, I think I gave about five mocks.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be four if you exclude the ones that I gave, exclude the one mock that I gave at the very start to gauge my
Mm-hmm.
preparedness level.
Yeah.
That would be about four mocks for me.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
And in the last mock that you said you were getting a score of 7 to 5. So in the previous mocks also, I mean, you booked your exam previously itself, or you booked your exam when you were getting similar scores to what you were desiring?
No, so I booked my exam 2 months before itself. So
Okay.
that would be when I'm decently comfortable with the when I've just completed my bridge course. That was
Mhm.
when I booked my exam probably,
Okay.
and based on the timeline, then I was operating.
Got it. Yeah, working backwards. That's good. Yeah, you need confidence for that, but yeah.
Yes, yes.
That's
Because I think as a person, I am someone who's very comfortable in
Mhm.
operating under high pressure situations, because that brings the best out of me.
Uh, yeah, I can tell. Yeah. And
Yeah.
coming on to your exam day experience, how was you gave your exam on the test center or you gave it online?
I gave it in the test center.
Okay, and how was the experience? Like in terms of the content, were the questions because you were at a level of 755, so I'm so pretty sure you must have encountered at least 1 to 2 very difficult questions. So, uh, in terms of content and the difficulty level, how was it? Was it very difficult? Was it very? Any was there any kind of major variation in terms of what the material that they have provided and what was there in the exam?
There wasn't a lot of variation,
Mm-hmm.
but I think so. The reason I got an 88, and I never got less than 90 in quant in any of the mocks, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I got 88 in quant, I think that was because there was a probability question. It
Uh-huh.
was extremely tough because you had to do a lot of manual calculations, which is
Yeah,
not possible in a time constrained environment.
exactly.
When I came back to the institute, I clearly remembered that question. So I gave it to one of my friends who was majoring in maths.
Mm-hmm.
And that even that person took like 15 to 20 minutes to solve it. And
Mm-hmm.
I just resigned myself to the fate. Then okay, 755, it's 755, so I don't need to cry about 2 marks in quant.
Uh-huh.
But yes.
Come
But that
on.
was a surprising thing that
Uh-huh.
GMAT, if this is such a difficult question, how can GMAT expect anyone to solve it? So yeah, that was one surprising thing. But everything was aligned. The rest of everything was aligned with what I was doing at
Mhm.
in terms of coursework at top.
Got it. That's great to hear. Yeah. And in term, since you're right now on the other side and you have done the entire prep, any do's and don'ts that you would like to suggest to the future test takers who are watching this video lately, or they will be watching the video in future someday?
Sure, sure, sure. So the best thing you can do while you're preparing for GMAT is analyzing your mistakes. And I think a lot of people start doing that, but what you guys miss out on, I feel, because this is something that I also realized later in the later stages of my prep, is that you don't analyze the questions you have done correctly as well, because there are many questions which you have done correctly, but you haven't given a lot of thought to them. Maybe they were correct just by fluke or by a logic that wasn't completely there. So if you
Mm-hmm.
spend time analyzing on that, I think that also improved my score a lot.
Okay.
Because okay, in this mock, that kind of question fortunately was correct for me. But let's say if there would have been another mock, maybe a similar question would have been incorrect. So I think analyzing your correct questions as well, in which you face some difficulty in terms of thinking or solving, analyzing them as well, I think would be a key that would differentiate you from, let's say, the other people. That would be the number one do that I would suggest everyone.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of don'ts, what I would say is that uh, I've seen a lot of my friends as well who also gave GMAT. The number one don't is that don't let the algorithm mess up your mind. So what
Yeah.
will happen, from what I've heard, is that people start judging their performance during the exam itself. Okay, this is an easy question. So have I done two, three questions wrong and I'm receiving an easy question? Or maybe, if, okay, this is a hard question. So have I done all the previous questions perfectly? So just don't let it play on your mind while you are giving the actual exam. So just think
Exactly.
of it like a normal test. Don't assume that there's an algorithm. There's definitely an algorithm, but don't assume while you are giving the test that okay, an algorithm is at play here. Just give the test. Assume that all questions are at a single level, because it's like you would never know. Maybe a question is difficult for you, but what they have tagged behind might not be a difficult question. So just give the test. Don't worry about the algorithm. Whatever will happen later. Just give
Mm-hmm.
the test in a single flow of mind, and I think that would help you a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think thinking about that particular thing actually takes up a lot of your
Because that will the algorithm will take up a lot of your mind space, especially during the exam.
correct, correct. Yes, that's what I was getting to. Yeah. And I also, like
Yeah,
you were saying, for example, a math question might be not that might not be that difficult for someone like a Indian engineer, but that question, but the majority test takers might not be the Indian people. So they are the people out there who would actually consider that particular question difficult. So you are not the good judge of any kind of particular question. You are not a PhD math
exactly.
exactly. So it's not a good position to be. Yeah, definitely. And it's a worthless exercise, like you said. It takes up your mind, a lot of your mind space. Yeah. And okay, yeah, that's great pointers you have shared. Thank you for that. And so moving forward in your career journey, what is your plan as of right now? So I think you are still, I mean, you just graduated, so I don't think you're going to apply any soon. What is your general plan that you're looking forward?
Right. So there's an option of deferred MBA. So
Hmm.
deferred MBA is something that you can apply as an undergraduate in your final year of study.
Hmm.
So I'll probably I'm looking forward to receiving some interview invites, and maybe if I'm able to get in, that would be amazing. But even if that is not there, I have taken up a job in management consulting. So I'll be probably be working there for 3 or 4 years, and then I'll apply to a normal MBA.
Great, great.
So that's my career. That is what my career is looking right now.
Mm-hmm. Understood, understood. Yeah, we'll be in touch. You can let me know
Definitely.
whatever updates that you're going forward. And yeah, it was great talking to you. And congratulations again on a really phenomenal score. Really phenomenal score. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your support, in fact.
yeah, of
Yes.
course.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Have a good day.
Uh,
Congratulations again. Bye bye. Thank you for your time.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.